Okay, guys, welcome back to our new channel. Well, we're not a new.
Welcome back to our new channel.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say welcome back to DDF Football Chat. DDF Football Chat. But that's dead now because we are now top tier football. And so wanted to come on, make this quick intro video because we're going to do our Premier League predictions. So if you are watching, slap a like on the video, let us know where you're viewing from, and also let us know your Premier League predictions from 1 to 20 in the comment section below. So on a day that's been absolutely full of transfer news, etc., Liverpool and Klopp thinking that they were lucky to get Caicedo for £111 million, only for Caicedo to slap him in the face and go to Chelsea. Although it's not confirmed yet for sure, but
it's not ever yet.
Absolutely. Let's all laugh at Liverpool fans though. Haha. Slap a like on the video if you're against Liverpool. Don't dislike this if you're a Liverpool fan. Okay, so we're just going to do our Premier League predictions 1 to 20. Top goal scorer, player of the year, manager of the year, top assister, and then we'll be done. All right. So we're going to get straight into it. So Matt, over to you first. Who do you think is finishing 20th? What do we think?
Okay, so I'm going for Sheffield United.
Okay.
Just because they've lost some key players, and I don't think they've signed anyone to majorly strengthen them. And although they did finish higher than Luton, I just think Sheffield are going to struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. I've gone for exactly the same 20th. I mean, they've lost Ndai, they've lost Sander Berge now to Burnley. So yeah, they've lost some key players, and I think that they are going to finish rock bottom. And they've also not invested either. Have they even made a signing? I don't think they have. All right. So I think we're agreed on that. 20th position is Sheffield United. So if we're going to 19th place, I think Luton will finish 19th. All right. They've bought some fairly decent players, but I say fairly decent. I act like I know they are. Don't really. They've got some like almost academy prospects from Man City, like they've got Kabore and some other players, etc. And they've just signed Ross Barkley. Great.
Who's Ross Barkley?
Exactly.
Although he did play good when he came back to the Prem and played for Villa that one season, a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah,
he played all right, and everyone was like, "Oh, Barkley's back." So
yeah. I mean, I think I've gone for a cop out there. I don't know enough about Luton, so I'm just going to be saying 19th place. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean they play in orange.
Yeah.
No team that plays in orange deserves to play in the championship, Premiership.
Yeah, absolutely.
So which brings me, obviously, I am agreeing with you. I'm going for Luton, but my 18th place is Wolves.
Me too.
Clean sweep, full house.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd be saying Wolves because they've sacked their manager. They've just got their new manager.
No, the manager walked because he wasn't happy.
Very, very true. Walked because of the transfer business. They're about to lose Adama Traore. They've lost Jean Moutinho. They've lost Ruben Neves. They've not got Connor Cody anymore. They Max Kilman potentially going to Atletico Madrid. So they are in a shambles at the moment. So yeah, absolutely in agreement with that.
And they've signed a striker who they had on loan who didn't really do the business, and apparently it was 50 million. I'm not sure on that one. Don't quote me on that, but it was a substantial fee, and we'll see if he can prove himself this season. But I'm betting that he doesn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, he got 2 goals since January, so that's not a great return.
Room for improvement there.
No, I think they need a miracle. Right. Which takes us on nicely to 17th. I'm going to go for, and again, it's a little bit of a cop-out because I've not seen them play. I'm going to go for Burnley. I think that they'll have enough to survive. They've got Vincent Kompany. From what I have seen, they are much more of an attacking team rather than defending, and that could potentially go against them. I don't know, but I think because I've not seen enough of them, come on, Burnley for tonight, by the way. But yeah, I'm just going to go 17th place, Burnley. What do you
think? So I'm not going to tell you where I've put Burnley.
Okay.
But I've gone for Nottingham Forest.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. Well, I don't know. It might be a bit of a relegation battle like it was last year with like the 6 teams in it. I have a feeling that these three teams we've got pinned in the relegation are going to be like struggling all season. I think Nottingham Forest might do okay. I don't think they'll be struggling as much as they were this last season. You know, like going down to like the last couple of games. I don't think it'll be as tight as that, but I do think that will finish towards the bottom of the table.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, which takes me nicely onto 16th place. I've actually gone for Forest. Yeah, so 16th place, I've gone for Forest. You know, have they really improved that much? I don't know in terms of like investing in. I mean, obviously they've got Matt Turner from Arsenal, but you know, in terms of other players, I don't really know anything. So you know, and they've still got the same manager. You know, obviously experienced now in terms of relegation battle. So who knows? I think it'll be quite tight if I'm honest.
I mean, yeah, like you said, they've signed Turner as a goalkeeper. Whether he will be their number one, who knows? They are still linked with Henderson as well, which would be an interesting one to go for both of them. But they had Keylor Navas in goal last year, and they still struggled.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Turner is probably a downgrade on Navas, but that's me kind of remembering Navas of old.
Yeah.
Whereas last year he wasn't. Obviously he isn't the keeper he used to be. Yeah. So we'll see what Turner can do. We'll see what Forest can do. But I think they'll be safe. Not sure what distance they'll be safe by, but yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So take us on to 15th place then. Who do you think finishes there?
Wait a minute. I'm 15th yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you just did your 17th. No, sorry, your 16th. My 16th 16th. Is Bournemouth.
Okay.
So again, team that struggled last year, but they will. Yeah, I don't think they'll struggle to stay up this year. I just don't see them breaking out.
Yeah.
But still haven't mentioned Burnley. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'll talk about Bournemouth when I come to my position.
Yeah, so it's your 15th now.
Yeah, so I've gone for Crystal Palace. They've just lost Wilfried Zaha, obviously I mean talisman. It gives an opportunity for some of the younger players to step up like Abarici Eze. You know, they've got Elise. Can they hold on to them? Who knows? They've got a relatively good defense, but are they going to trouble like that top 10? And are they going to get into relegation? I don't think so. So I think actually it is a pretty decent position.
Yeah. So Palace, I think, will lose Elise. They'll keep Eze. I can't remember who else they've gone in for, to be honest. They're also potentially, this was something I read earlier, could lose Anderson to Liverpool.
Yeah.
That's probably just something like threw into the rumour mill, but who knows? But the fact that I can't necessarily remember anyone that they've signed means it hasn't been like a crazy transfer window for them.
Yeah.
Obviously, Zaha leaving will be a big blow because he does give them the experience. They're a fairly young team, and obviously the manager who even is the manager?
Roy Hodgson.
Oh, of course, yeah, Roy Hodgson.
Big
well, on that subject as well. Yeah, Roy Hodgson keeps teams up, but he doesn't.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to push them on. But I have got them higher than 15th.
So who you got 15th?
15th, I've gone for Everton.
Okay.
I don't think Everton either have massively improved on their squad. Who have they signed?
Don't know. Honestly, don't know. Yeah.
They've still got Pickford, which you could call a massive success because he was a shoo-in to go to a few teams, Tottenham, United, teams that have signed new keepers, and he's still at Everton.
Yeah.
I think they'll be a lot safer than they were this year, but again, I just think, they'll be towards the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so going on to 14th place, I've gone for Bournemouth. All right, I think Bournemouth are like the steady eddies of the group, and actually they've invested a little bit. They've just got that. They've got that Justin Kluivert, Patrick Kluivert's son.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see him. Yeah.
Fairly decent player. He's pretty rapid, and they've just had a bid accepted for that Max Aarons as well, and he's got some Premier League experience, albeit with Norwich. And they've still got the main core of their players there. They've still got Solanke and acting like I know the Bournemouth squad, to be honest, but they appear to still have and they've got that James Trafford as well that they've just bought, the goalkeeper. So they've tried to upgrade in terms of their goalkeeper. So I think that they're
Burnley.
Oh, was that Burnley? Oh, yeah. Very, very true. I need to know my knowledge. Okay, but I mean, then as far as I remember, in terms of their goalkeeping positions, they've got like Neto and players like that. So, I think that they'll finish a comfortable 14th. I can't see them troubling top 4 or anything like that, as well as I can't see them really battling relegation either. So who you gone 14th?
I've gone for Fulham.
Okay.
Yeah, Fulham. Where did they finish last year? Were they around 10th, 11th?
7th?
No, they weren't that high.
9th, maybe 8th, 9th, something like that.
Mate, yeah. I think this year they won't be as high. I don't know what's happening with Mitrovic. Obviously, he did come out and say that he wasn't going to play for Fulham again. He's still there. So who knows? I guess we'll find out this weekend if he's
and the stuff with Willian as well.
Yeah, Willian. I mean, Willian was a much better player for Fulham than he was when he signed for Arsenal. That's for sure. Seemed to be doing a lot better, and giving them some goal contributions as well. So if they can keep them both, then maybe they'll finish higher. But yeah, I don't really see where else. They've still got Polina. He could have gone.
He's injured.
To any of the big 6 teams probably, but they priced him out. Still, there's time for that. But yeah, I'm sticking Fulham in 14th.
Yeah, good. All right. So 13th. Who you gone for 13th?
13th, I've gone for Brentford.
Me too.
Now, obviously, Brentford were one of them teams where you're like, okay, these could be somebody that could actually break through. But the loss of Ivan Toney for a long period of this season will be a blow to them. Yeah. They have still got people that players that can score goals, but not to Ivan Toney's level.
Yeah, I agree.
And obviously they're losing their keeper as well. Not confirmed yet, but it's pretty much 99%. Potentially tomorrow morning before the game, I don't know. Maybe we'll even reveal him at the game. Do we United? It's not something we typically do, but who knows?
Yeah.
But Ray's gone. I don't know who's going in goal for them now.
Yeah, well, they've got the guy that's been playing in goal for them is Flecken. He seems to have done all right during preseason, but it's preseason. I think you make a good point about Ivan Toney's out till January, where the goal is going to come from. People are suggesting kind of like Mbeumo may step up, but he's now injured for a few games. So, where does then they've got Visser. So yeah, I think that they're threadbare at the moment. Have they actually made any big additions? I don't recall any. So yeah, I think that kind of 13th place is good. So who's your 12th place?
I've gone for Crystal Palace.
Okay. Yeah.
Similar reasons to what you gave, but
yeah,
I just think they'll finish a little bit higher.
Yeah. And I think it could be a good shout there because, when you've got like that main focus point, Wilfried Zaha, everything tends to go through him. Whereas now they can potentially play with the shackles off sort of thing. They don't have that talisman anymore. So needs to try and step up in their, in their own kind of, they've all got to take that responsibility now and step up and say, I'm going to be the main man. And things
I definitely won't miss playing Crystal Palace without Zaha. He always seemed to turn up against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Probably because he wanted to play for us so bad. But that ship has sailed now.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So 12th place, I've actually gone for Fulham. I think that Fulham are a very decent outfit. I think Marco Silva I think a lot of people think of him as the Wolves manager previously, obviously. But I think when he went to Fulham, he did pretty well. I like the way that they play football. They've kept their back line. They've got a good goalkeeper in Leno. They have managed to keep Mitrovic. I think, you know, he's going to have no choice but to settle down and do his job if he wants to carry on playing football. Yeah, and I think that they have made a couple of additions as well. Like you said earlier, Palini is still there, but although he's injured at the moment, so who's going to step up and take that position? I think that they'll finish a comfortable 12th position. All right. Mm-hmm. So how about 11th place? Who are you going for?
I've gone for West Ham.
Mm.
Now, West Ham, if West Ham hadn't have signed any players over the past week, well, they're technically not signed yet, but they've had the here we go from Fabit. So Ward-Prowse coming in, Maguire coming in, gives them I guess a more solid option at centre back. We'll see what Maguire's still got left in the tank. And who else was it? Someone else in midfield?
There's potentially, it depends on Paqueta going to Man City. Is potentially McTominay's going to come in as well.
Okay. I thought I remembered someone else, but then no, fair enough. Still, there's some relatively good signings. They've lost Declan Rice, they've lost their captain. So that'll be interesting to see how they adapt to that. But I still think they're a fairly decent team. Now, the main concern they have now is, do they have the depth to compete in the Europa League? Because Europa Conference League is a very different outfit than the Europa League. I think they might even exit that early group stage, which will put them in better stead for the rest of the season. But if they do go on a streak in that, I don't think it's going to do them much good.
Yeah.
Unless they do, strengthen it in the rest of the window. Still, they're finishing relatively high, but they're not going to be playing European football next season.
Yeah. No, I think that's a valid shout there. So in terms of my 11th place, I've gone for Everton. I do think Everton are going to be far better than they were last season. They physically have to be, right? I don't think Everton can get much worse than that last day where there was a chat. At one point, they were going down until they stepped up. They've still got the main core of their players. They've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He seems to be over his injury troubles. They've got Onana, who is just an absolute beast. I really hope, there was a tweet that was put out about a surprise signing for United. He would be like my go-to midfielder. Yeah, I really want Onana. The reason why I want Onana is because he reminds me of that Patrick Vieira sort of player. He's absolutely massive. He's really quick. He's really agile. So the fact that they've kept him is really good. They've still got Tarkowski. They've got the experience in Coleman, Pickford, etc. They have to be better. And they've got, Sean Dyche. He's there as well. So I think that they're going to finish a comfortable 11th. If they are near relegation again, I'm going to just be like, what is going on with Everton? Like they are in free fall at the moment. But yeah, I think that they'll be far better than they were last year, but I just don't think that they'll break into that top 10. All right. Which brings us nicely onto the top 10. So my 10th place, I've actually gone for West Ham. West Ham. Obviously, they have lost big Declan Rice. But it looks likely that they're going to lose Paqueta as well, but they're going to make over 200 million for two players. Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to give them many options to replace those players as well. They have pretty much got Harry Maguire in. Now, Maguire, he ain't a top 4 centre-back, right? But he ain't a relegation centre-back either. Maguire, I would put him in as a top class centre back, not world class. I'd put him in a top class centre back. At Leicester, he did really, really well. The reason for that is because they played to his strengths. At United, he had the captaincy put on him. There was the expectation that he was going to be able to transform the defense, which actually for the first 2 years he was pretty decent. Okay,
yeah.
But for the last few years it's been shambolic. But I think he's going to go in. He's going to be. I don't think he'll be under a lot of pressure because the media are not going to be on him as much as what they were at United. So I think I think he instantly makes their defense a lot more solid, and he's always an aerial threat as well. I know he's a bit of a clown and he's been made into a meme and stuff, which I think is a little bit unfair, but I think he's now at his level. They've obviously got James Ward-Prowse as well, and he's just a fantastic set piece taker. Like, the thing is with James Ward-Prowse is when he's going to be that sort of player that in stoppage time, he picks them up points, whether it's an equalizer or whether it's the winning goal, because of that delivery from that set piece, or that goal threat from a free kick, etc. And if they get McTominay as well, I think he's a fairly good replacement for Declan Rice, because he'll be able to sit behind the ball. He'll be able to travel with that ball as well, very similar to Declan Rice. I'm not saying he's in the same caliber, but again, I would say that he's a top class midfielder as well, but nowhere near that world class ability. But I think he's there as well. So I'd say West Ham, it's going to take them a little bit of time to settle into their rhythm, but they've still got Antonio, they've still got Bowen, Maguire will be there, the experience, they've got Fabianski and Arola, they've got Kufau, Quezwa, they've still got their main core there. And
To be fair, I think McTominay will thrive in a West Ham team. I think that's his level, really. He could actually perform better than you've ever seen him perform for United.
Absolutely.
Given that, the pressure's lowered, freedom maybe is a little bit more because there's less pressure. We'll see what happens with McTominay. One to watch, obviously.
Yeah.
So my 10th place is Burnley.
Okay, cool.
So it might be a little bit of a stretch to put Burnley in 10th, but I just think they're going to surprise everyone.
Hopefully.
And I'm not entirely sure why, but I'll just have a feeling. Yeah. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
It might just be gas, so we forgive you.
Yeah.
All right, so it takes us on nicely to 9th place. I've gone for Villa. I think that Villa are a good shout to go 9th place. They've made some really good additions. I've highly rate Pau Torres. I think he's really, really good. But I think he's going to need a little bit of time to settle in. They've obviously still got Martinez. They've Ollie Watkins, I think, is a fantastic striker. I would have loved him at United. I just think that they've made some good new additions to Villa as well. Diaby, he's one to watch. I think if Diaby and Watkins perform well, they probably could creep up into those kind of like European positions. Not saying top 4, but certainly Conference League, Europa League, etc. But I think safe bet 9th is good for Villa. Who you gone for at 9th?
I've gone for Tottenham.
Oh, interesting. Harry Kane.
Obviously Tottenham finished 8th last season
with Kane,
and that was with Harry Kane. Now, they have made some signings, but I don't think they're signings that massively improve them.
Oh, Maddison does.
Well, okay. So, Maddison, if he had somebody to assist, who they've now lost.
Yeah.
If Kane was still there and guaranteed to be there for the rest of the season, then I wouldn't be putting Tottenham in 9th, because I think Maddison, Son and Kane could link up really well.
Yeah.
But obviously that ain't going to happen now.
Yeah. Obviously this is a talking point here, right? So my argument to that is Kane, he obviously is going to Munich, right? I'm gutted because I still thought last day of the season United would go in and get him. Obviously that's gone forward right now. The thing with Kane, though, is he was trying to do everything. He'd always be dropping deep, getting into that number 10 position, firing those balls. Now Kane's not doing that. That unlocks Maddison to be able to be that player that does it. And could he then be that person that is feeding Son and Richarlison? Could also Tottenham now spend that Harry Kane money and go in and get like a Vlahovic or someone like that, who is that penalty box striker? It's interesting.
I mean, I don't see them getting a Vlahovic because he's going to want to play some kind of European football.
Yeah.
So anyone that they do sign is, I'd say, probably going to have to be either somebody towards the end of their career that's still, still got a little bit in them. Yeah. Maybe even Jamie Vardy. Bring Vardy back with Maddison. Sorry, that one just came to the top of my head. That's definitely not going to happen. I just don't see them sign a worldie like Kane. They're not going to replace Kane.
What about
this?
Yeah, no, and I think you're right. But what about like a Ollie Watkins? Because whatever we say about Spurs, that's a step up.
Watkins ain't leaving Villa now, though.
Really?
Like Villa have got.
Yeah, no, it's true.
They're in Conference League.
Europa League, aren't they? Is it not Europa League? But
Who's your Conference League?
okay, one of them. Okay, but I absolutely get that. But firstly, money talks. Yeah, money talks. Depends on how much they throw at him, and also he's going to be playing in the best stadium in the country. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of other factors that go into it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Villa are Conference League, and it's Brighton and Liverpool in Europa League.
Okay. No, I think it's certainly possible that Spurs
They've
could.
got to sign somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. No, 100%. But yeah, definitely it's plausible that they could finish ninth. Okay, so let's speed this up then. Eighth position, who are you going for?
Brighton.
Me too. Boom. Yeah, absolutely. They're about to lose Caicedo. That they've lost McAllister. I don't think we need to even talk any more about it, because who are they going to replace them with that's going to be able to do what they did? Not so sure.
Well, De Zerbi already said he's already forgotten about Caicedo. I'm sure he's got plans for the rest of his team. He's a good manager, so I don't think they're going to struggle to keep up the pace that they did last season. But eighth is where they belong, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so seventh, I've gone for Spurs. Okay,
and I've gone for Villa. So the old switcheroo.
Nicely done. Sixth place, who are you going for?
Chelsea.
Oh, interesting. That's a good one. Okay, I've gone for Liverpool. I've gone for Liverpool. Wow. Sixth, you've gone for Chelsea. I think you definitely Chelsea potentially. I think that they've made some really good investments though. I think they've got that Levi Colwill back from Brighton now. Really good defender. I liked him a lot playing for Brighton. They've got that Jackson, who in pre-seasons looked really good. It's really sad about Nkunku because he lit up. He's a really, really good player. But I think that they've made good investments all over the pitch. And it looks like as well they're going to get Caicedo as well. So that's why I think that they'll end up finishing higher than Liverpool.
Yeah. We'll see.
100%. Right, who you gone fifth?
Newcastle.
Me too. Yeah, absolutely. Fourth?
Liverpool.
Okay, that's where I put Chelsea. All right. Well, we're getting into the big stuff now. All right, so who have you gone for? Let's go. Who have you gone for second place?
I've gone for Man City in second place.
I've gone for Man City in second place. Yeah,
I can guess who you've gone for first.
And I bet I could guess who you've gone for. Yeah, I've gone for Man City in second place because they haven't replaced their Gundogan, Mahrez, etc. I mean that they brought in Kovacic, he's all right, and they're linked with that Jeremy Doku from he's Belgian and he's absolutely rapid, but is he that technician that Mahrez is? Definitely not.
Yeah.
I think also this could be a big kind of mental ridiculous point I'm making. I think Haaland is going to be sussed out a lot more. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be smashing his own record from last season. So yeah, I've gone for second place. So who have you gone for first place?
First place, I've gone for Arsenal.
Okay, why?
Well, I guess you have to put it simply. If Man City aren't going to play as well this year because of the players they've lost, then I think that does leave the door open for somebody like Arsenal, who have strengthened. There's no doubt that we have strengthened. Now, this is bearing in mind, we also have Champions League football as well, which is a completely new thing. We haven't played Champions League football for a few years, which is why we had to strengthen and get more depth in the squad. I still think we're a few players lacking. Somebody else up front or on the right wing would be great, just to give us a little bit more depth. We can't play Saka in every single game, especially Champions League, FA Cup, all this. If we want to win some trophies this year, we're going to need to have players that can fill the gaps. Now, the players that we've signed in Havertz, Rice, and Timber, they do give us a little bit more fluidity in where they can play on the pitch. Timber can play in multiple positions, as can Havertz, and as can Rice to an extent. He can play as that box-to-box, or he can play CDM. We've been fairly good in pre-season. Obviously, we just won the Community Shield. We didn't win against Manchester United in America, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm just going off the fact that I do think Man City won't be as good, and I think that leaves a place to fill.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that's exactly what you're going to say about Manchester United.
Listen, this might surprise you, but first place, I've actually gone for Arsenal United, right?
You are. I actually thought you were going to say Arsenal for a second. I want you to tell me
Yes.
why Manchester United.
Yeah, 100%. Right. Firstly, Eric Ten Hag is into his second season now, right? United overachieved last season. We managed to get a trophy. We got to the final of the FA Cup as well, and got to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. There was some massive learning experience for that whole side. And we have now made significant investments in multiple positions. The one key position that we have now addressed, which everyone used to mock us for, is that goalkeeping position. Yeah, we can no longer, as United fans, now use that excuse. Oh, we don't have a ball playing goalkeeper or anything like that. In pre-season, Onana has transformed how we have played. We are much higher on the press now. Teams are also not pressing us because they know, and I think that the Champions League final evidence this is that if they try to press Onana, he's just going to dink that ball into the space, something that De Gea was not able to do. I think as United fans, we need to have patience with Onana because there are going to be times where he's not going to pull off those worldy saves that De Gea does. But at the same time, there's going to be things that Onana does that De Gea could never do. And that could be getting assists as a goalkeeper. Yeah, he's got that ability to just ping that ball into Rashford and Rashford take that touch and score as well. You know, we've made some really good signings. We finally have a striker. Yeah. Now I know it's a massive price tag for Højlund, but you know, this is what I like about United is over the last few years they have gone for 30-plus-year-olds. Ibrahimovic. You could even go as far back as Robin van Persie, Falcao, etc. We are now investing in a striker that could be seen as the next big thing. You know, because Ollie wanted to do that with Haaland. Glazers and Woodward just didn't support him. Now we potentially have not the next Haaland, but potentially have the next big thing. So you know we've gone with that. I think we did have the best defense last year as well. So you know that's only going to be strengthened by Onana being there too. You know there's still an opportunity that we're going to bring in another CDM in, say someone like Amrabat, who is going to then potentially help out with Casado, especially when we're playing, you know, Arsenal and Man City. You know, we can sit behind and look to make that transition. And I think Amrabat and Casado, I only wish Casemiro will be really good together. And also we've got Mason Mount. Yeah, I think it's going to take a while for Mount to settle in. You know, I still see him as a Chelsea player, if I'm honest. I don't think he looks right in a United shirt at the moment, but that's just pre-season. Yeah.
I mean, he was the Chelsea poster boy for a long time.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah, it will take him a bit of time.
Yeah, and I think for me, we managed to finish third and overachieve with Weghorst up front. All right. We're now turning our attention to a young kid who's got a lot of ability, is absolutely rapid. If you think Haaland's quick, you have not seen this guy go. He is insanely fast. And with Anthony, Rashford, and Højlund, I can't think of a faster front three than that, you know? So I'm really excited by it. I might be living more in hope than actual overall expectation. But I think if we overperformed last year with under strength side, we have now massively invested in some key areas. So I'm going to say, you know what? I'm expecting us to at least make a title push. And if we can manage to get some additions in January, given that we're about to have a takeover as well, hopefully, and we can make some more additions in January, I think we could push on and potentially, I'm going to go for it, win the league.
I mean, what would be great would be if Man United and Arsenal were able to keep Man City in third.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. So that then goes to our third places. We switch them around. I've gone Arsenal third, and you've obviously gone United third.
I mean, I am disappointed, but it is what it is.
You know, I, you know, as an Arsenal fan, you've got reason to be confident. You've got Rice, etc. You've got Timber, although he wanted to come to United last season. You know, we've made some massive upgrades as well. It will be really cool if it was United versus Arsenal, as it used to be back in 2005 and 6, 4, etc. So there we go. So obviously the big game is going to be kicking off very soon. So let's quickly go through it. Who have you got for your top goal scorer?
Top goal scorer, although, like you said, I don't think he will score as many goals. It will still be Haaland.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and also I don't think there's going to be anyone that can rival him for that. Because if you look at how Liverpool play at the moment, I think how they're playing now takes away Salah's goal threat. I think he might be more of an assister rather than a goal scorer. So I can't really think of Haaland, anyone matching Haaland. So I'm going to go for that as well. In terms of top assister, I'm actually going to go Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, he made the most goal scoring opportunities last year with Weghorst up front. We now have an out and out striker, and that's my rationale behind it. Again, could be more hope than anything, but I have provided a little bit of evidence for it. But who are you going for top assister?
I'm going for Odegaard.
Ah, here we go.
Yeah, obviously, he had a good season last year. I think he's going to be even better this year. He's just growing and growing in confidence. Just toying with most defenses. Even Man City, like he was running rings around some of the players. And yeah, I mean, he even contributed a fair amount of goals last year. I'd like him to focus more on what we need him to do, and that's create the play. Yeah, that's what I've gone for.
Perfect. All right. But statistically, he's no Fernandez. Anyway, Golden Glove, who are we going for?
I've gone for Pope.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I still, huh?
Even though you've got Newcastle in fifth, though.
Yeah, well, I knew you were going to say this. I knew you were going to say this. And the reason that Newcastle are going to be in fifth, but Pope Golden Glove, will be because Newcastle will draw a lot of games.
Absolutely. No, I would agree with
well, not a lot of games, just more games than you would need to to be pushing towards that title.
So Golden Glove, I'm going to go for. It's very similar to last season. We had the best defense. I'm going Onana. I really am. I think that our defense is going to be even better this season. But that also could come back to bite me. So I've kind of taken a seat on that fence as well. And I've also put Edison in there. I think it'll be one of those two. But I'm going to nail myself to the wall and say Onana's going to be a Golden Glove winner. Okay. So in terms of your player of the year, who have you got?
Player of the year, I've gone for Saka.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah, I also think Saka is going to have his best season yet.
Yeah.
Providing he can stay fit. But obviously, if Arsenal are going to win the league, then I feel it would be an Arsenal player that gets player of the season. And I just think Saka, he's just signed that contract. We absolutely need somebody to sign this big bumper contract and actually do something with it. Because pretty much everyone that we've done it with in the past has just pretty much flopped after that. Yeah. So if Saka wants to push on and become an Arsenal great, then he needs to do that and help us win our first title in many, many years.
Absolutely. In what, 20 years, I think it will be 19 years. No, when was the last time you won it? 2003.
Yeah, long time.
20 years, absolutely. Okay, player of the year for myself. Very similar rationale to you. I'm going Bruno Fernandes. I think he's going to have an incredible season. He is now the fully fledged United captain. I think over he has put in captain performances. I mean, he's put in captain performances since he's come to this league, and I think he's really underrated, and I think that he's become a meme to rival fans. But I think that that's because they know that he walks into any of their teams. I think he walks into Man City's, Arsenal's, Chelsea's, Liverpool's, etc. This guy is incredible, and now he's got a striker and someone to get on the end of his balls. That sounded weird. I did thought. I think he's going to have an incredible season, so he's going to be my player of the year. Okay, manager of the year. If we're going to win the league, I'm saying Erik ten Hag.
Yeah, and obviously I'm going the same.
Yeah.
Arteta.
Yeah.
Win. Yeah. No, I don't know.
So we've both gone for Erik ten Hag. All right. So, all right. So that brings us to the end. They are our Premier League predictions for the 2023-2024 season. We are 1 minute away from the first game of the season of Burnley versus Man City. So
let's go Burnley.
100%. Let us know in the comment section below what your Premier League positions are. Your goals, top goal scorers, assisters, etc. And also let us know what you think is going to be the Burnley versus Man City result. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.